Hey, what's up guys, it's Red here with this video. I know this one didn't win any polls, but hey, this is my channel. Anyways, this video topic was recommended to me by the GOAT Starkey, who also helped me with making this video. I also did this because I kinda decided to do it one night by replying to one of his tweets. So yeah, who cares? But what I do want to tell you is that if you have any theories of your own, I would love to make a short compilation video where I talk about them. So leave your theories down below in the comments and make sure to specify that you want them in the video. But depending on how many of you guys comment, you might not get picked. Also, super chats and channel members will get priority. So become a channel member if you want, not to mention other perks that you get, such as voting for my thumbnails and other stuff. Anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Check out my community tab for future polls and posts. The next video will be one of the poll winners, I promise. Anyways, let's get into the identity of the Fire Devil. What we know. So, what do we know about the Fire Devil? Well, not that much. Well, we do know a little about it, such as the Fire Devil being one of the Death Devil's pawns. Not to mention, the Fire Devil was the reason many characters like Yuko and the class president became monsters / devil-like. It's also the reason why those Chainsaw Man church members turned into the pseudo Chainsaw people. We also know that the Fire Devil was the one who created the current Fake Saw Man. However, all those people thought that they were making a contract with the Justice Devil. Though, in the Falling Devil arc, we find out that this is the Justice Devil, which meant that the Fire Devil pretended to be the Justice Devil so that it could trick people into making contracts with it. And obviously, Death was using the Fire Devil to do different things for her, like making a mess around the globe with the previously mentioned pseudo Chainsaw people. And let's not forget the possibility that the Death Devil most likely told the Fire Devil to make a contract with the class president, who was jealous of Asa, since Mr. Tanaka, aka Dr. Disrespect / ADP / Trump / Elon Musk, liked Asa even though he and the class president were sleeping with each other. Anyways, it was the Fire Devil who told the class president to kill Asa. So with that, I believe that the Death Devil was looking for a host body for the weakened War Devil and chose Asa since she was a loner with no friends. Though again, that's speculation, and honestly, that's pretty much all that we know of the Fire Devil. We haven't even seen the real Fire Devil's appearance. And we also know that it talks with people it has contracts with, but we've never seen any text bubbles of the Fire Devil itself. Also, before I do anything else, I'd like to say that the Fire Devil has a possibility of being a primal devil. I mean, fire does seem like something so primal and essential, like it's one of the things humans needed and feared due to fire's danger and destructive capabilities, but it was needed for light. So I think the Fire Devil could possibly be a primal devil. Not to mention that the Fire Devil is kind of like an opposite / foil to the Darkness Devil. So if the Fire Devil was a primal devil, it could explain why it's so powerful and has crazy abilities like transforming normal humans into almost devils. Which some of them, like the new Fake Saw, are definitely close to the strength of very powerful normal devils. So anyways, let's get into speculating about the Fire Devil's true identity. Potential Fire Devil identities. So it's kinda hard to say any identities with the fact that it's a devil and not something like the fake Chainsaw Man, or trying to theorize what Devil Pochita really is. Like, I mean, the Fire Devil is just a devil and we haven't seen it directly yet. But what if the Fire Devil is already a character we've seen? I mean, it can change the appearance of others and give them powers. So why can't the Fire Devil just look like a normal person? Also, technically anyone who has changed their appearance and has a contract with the Fire Devil has a piece of the Fire Devil. Well, at least we can assume that because the Fire Devil is shown to communicate with them in their mind. Like again, the most recent Fake Saw Man. So technically, that is the Fire Devil, or at least a part of it. But aside from that, could the Fire Devil be one of the characters we've seen just in a disguise? Well, it's possible. Like anyone from the Chainsaw Man Church could be the Fire Devil. Haruka is one option, but while he is the face of the Chainsaw Man Church, he just kinda seems like a puppet and not a devil. Though, the ripcord he has attached to his chest could be something that the Fire Devil gave him. So, there's something. Another character could be Segi. Yeah, it's mainly cause he looks like Agni from Fire Punch, so, you know, fire and stuff. Even though Agni's power is regeneration and not fire, but he's on fire because someone with fire abilities shot him with fire that only stops until the target dies. Anyways, it could be Nanashi. Which, by the way, this is what I call this guy, since Nanashi means no name in Japanese. And it's also an SMT reference. Anyways, he kinda just showed up and claimed that he was Chainsaw Man, and didn't do anything. So, maybe he's actually the current Fake Saw, but whatever. However, the next one has some fun possibilities and implications, as the Fire Devil could be Bareem Bridge himself. I mean, Flamethrower Hybrid, Fire Devil, both working with the Death Devil, and both, surprisingly, have some obsession with Chainsaw Man. Yeah, these two could totally be one and the same. I mean, we haven't seen Bareem's hybrid form in part 2 at all, so it's definitely something being saved up for a bigger reveal. Like, maybe the Fire Devil made Bareem stronger, or even changed Bareem's hybrid form into something different. But who knows, we'll just have to wait to see if Fujimoto answers our questions. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Fire Devil. I promise that the next video would either be the Ignorance is Bliss or the religious imagery and Chainsaw Man videos that you guys voted for. So check out my community tab if you guys want to vote for future videos. So make sure to wait. I feel like I'm forgetting something. What? you, the viewer, or Starkey, you guys see that there's like more left to this video? Like, you could check the timestamp and the time thing. I thought that I finished the video. Like, this is this is weird. It's like I'm missing something. Oh wait, there's no way. Was all I said right now just not the real video? Oh wait, oh shit. That is right, fellas. You're not watching the real identity of the Fire Devil revealed video, you're watching the Fire Devil's real identity, Fumiko Mifune. Did you really think that Starkey's theory idea was that basic stuff? Hell no, this is the real theory. Fumiko is the Fire Devil. Alright, I'm going a bit too far. I mean, the theory was originally about Fumiko being the Fire Devil, but even if Fumiko isn't directly the Fire Devil, Fumiko could be some sort of double agent for the Death Devil to use to get information from public safety. Now, I do know that a more believable option is that Fumiko has a contract with an unknown devil, which is why we see two Fumikos, old Fumiko and Fumidos / current Fumiko. But let's just reach a bit. I mean, if you said that Fami was the Death Devil when she said that she was the Famine Devil, you would have needed to fill in the gaps to try to make that theory work before the reveal. So, let's just get into some things about Fumiko. Yeah, she's suspicious as hell. Ever since her introduction, she's been suspicious and weird. Not to mention that Fumiko seems to have some sort of higher up position in public safety due to being one of the few devil hunters working directly with the Prime Minister and other people in positions of power during the Aging Devil arc. So, with her having a higher position in public safety, she could get more information, not to mention have the clearance to keep her devil contracts a secret. So Fumiko is either lying to public safety by having the Fire Devil pretend to be a different devil, which the Fire Devil has already pretended to do so, or public safety knows that Fumiko has a contract with the Fire Devil, but they don't suspect that Fumiko is a traitor because the Fire Devil continues to pretend to be the Justice Devil, and public safety thinks that the Chainsaw Man Church is working with another devil. So, is Fumiko the Fire Devil? Well, she could kinda be it. Or more like her conscience is the Fire Devil while her bodies are still human. I mean, we know that the Fire Devil can change others' appearances, but we also know that it could affect someone's mind, as the Fire Devil effectively lobotomized and turned all the pseudo chainsaw people into zombies. And in the most recent Chainsaw Man chapter, we get to see that the Fire Devil could change them back to their normal personalities. Plus, the Fire Devil can read minds and be in the minds of people it has contracts with. Like how Yuko was able to read the minds of others like Asa and Denji, two current Fake Saw speaking directly to the Fire Devil in his mind. So this can explain as to why Fumiko was able to sacrifice her organs to the Aging Devil and Octopus Devil, since the body she was using was a human body. So if Fumiko is the Fire Devil, then all the Fire Devil is doing is making bodies look and think like Fumiko. And the reason that the Fire Devil uses Fumiko could be that the first person it chose was the original Fumiko. who could have been a public safety officer before the Fire Devil took her looks. Which is why it seems that Fumiko is already an established public safety officer. In my opinion, the Fire Devil probably needs some sort of DNA or something to transform people into other things. This could give a reason as to why Fumiko wanted to collect some hair and fingernails from Denji before he was dismembered and locked up. Because the Fire Devil could need the DNA of the original Chainsaw Man to make all the clones. And also, the Fire Devil could have used the DNA of the Pochita corpse that was left in the cemetery at the end of part 1, which the Fire Devil could have ran out of the corpse because of the thousands of contracts they did to make the pseudo chainsaw people. So anyways, the original Fumiko could be chained up or locked away so that the Fire Devil could make as many Fumiko clones as it wants. And with this, it can make the other Fumikos into something like sleeper agents for the Death Devil. And if Fumiko was a sleeper agent, this could explain why she acts surprised and confused with the Death Devil's actions and make her seem to not know what's really going on. And then the Fire Devil could come into the mind of the Fumiko clone and take control / order her around to do things for it and the Death Devil. And afterwards, the Fire Devil erases that part of her memory so Fumiko doesn't know or remember what she did. Again, like I said, the OG Fumiko could have already been an established public safety officer. Which could explain why Yoshida doesn't question the fact that Fumiko gave her heart to the Octopus Devil, yet Fumiko is completely fine. And I know that explanation could be flimsy and it's a big reach. And again, the fact that Fumiko already gave us her backstory as to why she became a public safety officer. But I think everyone needs a reminder. People and devils lie. I mean, I basically lied to you in the first half of the video, and the Fire Devil is a known liar. And the Death Devil also lied about her identity. So Fumiko could just be lying and the Fire Devil made her think that specific type of way. And again, the Fire Devil could easily transfer Fumiko's mind into another body and make the body look like Fumiko. This could explain why we see the dying Fumiko and Fumidos in the same place. Plus, Fumiko also killed the last remaining witness right there. So obviously her killing that guy shows that she's hiding something. And maybe the supposed contract that Fumiko has is different to the real thing, which is why she killed the officer who saw her real contract. So even if Fumiko isn't really the real Fire Devil, or if something else is going on with her, she's still super suspicious. And probably not even human, or fully human. Starkey pointed this out for me, but Nayuta calls Fumiko Diarrhea Woman, when Fumiko abandoned Denji and Nayuta. Nayuta is known to have a good sense of smell. Well, it's more like the Control Devil in general, but whatever. Anyways, the Control Devil can smell devils, like with what Makima did with Denji, and like how Nayuta said that Asa / Yoru smelled bad. So, Nayuta describing Fumiko that way could be that Fumiko smelled bad, or smelled like a devil. So, Nayuta either thought that Fumiko was a full devil, or there was a devil inside of her, or something like that. And maybe the diarrhea smell could have actually been a burnt or burning smell. Also, Nayuta is known for keeping things like that from Denji, since she didn't even tell Denji that Asa was the War Devil, or just a devil in general. Nayuta didn't even bring up the prophecy to Denji until Barim brought it up. But aside from Fumiko's potential smell, which I imagine every day by the way, let's just get on to something I noticed. The eyes. Eyes in Chainsaw Man tend to be important when it comes to design. From Asa's eyes changing from black boba to some different colored iris and a dot for a pupil, to the ringed eyes that the Four Horsemen have. I want to point out that the Devil's eyes tend to be unique or different from human eyes. Like I said, the Four Horsemen's ringed eyes, Power's eyes are also unique, even the future Devil's eyes are unique as well. Human eyes in Chainsaw Man tend to either be a colored iris and a dot for a pupil, or pure black eyes. Like I said, Asa is an example of both. And I'm gonna use the volume covers to show this. We see that every cover with humans / hybrids, since hybrids were human once, and some devils have their colored iris and a dot for a pupil. So stuff like volumes 3, 4, 6, 9, 11, 13, 16, and 20 share this characteristic. And as I said, these characters are either humans or hybrids with a couple of devils. But they're always shown with normal eyes. Volumes 1, 5, 8, and 15 don't have eyes, so they don't count. An outlier is volume 17 with Yoshida, but he has the other type of human eyes where it's just a black iris and pupil. It makes sense since Yoshida has only been depicted with those type of eyes, and other humans like Kishibe and Quan Chi have both iris and their pupils black. So other outliers are volumes 2, 10, 12, 14, and 18. These characters are all confirmed devils and fiends. So, what's the final outlier? Volume 19. Fumiko's cover. Why is this? Well, look at her eyes. In the manga, they were always kind of uncanny, as if a devil was trying to replicate human eyes, but Volume 19 makes it look more obvious, as Fumiko doesn't have type 1 or 2 eyes. It's more like a mix, as she has large black pupils with a little bit of light brown or orange irises. Fumiko's eyes are uniquely hers, and as far as I know, no other human in Chainsaw Man has eyes like that. In my opinion, this could be a subtle sign that Fujimoto has given us to see that Fumiko might not be human, or at least not entirely human. Also, aside from the design of the pupil and iris, the color is very interesting. There's a chance that her eye color could be different in other depictions, but this is the closest to an official color that we have. So, the color of her eyes seem to be brown to orange, and brown is simply a darker orange, by the way. So orange seems to be her eye/iris color. What color are fires typically? I don't know, between yellow and red? AKA orange. So this might be a reach, but what if the color is trying to tell us that she has a connection with the fire devil? Since again, orange is a common color that appears in most flames. So if Fumiko isn't directly the fire devil, she definitely seems like she's either working with or being controlled by the fire devil. Now, I might have missed some stuff from Starkey's theory, so if you want to know and read more, go check him out on Twitter. I have his account linked in the description and in the pinned comment. So go show him some love for helping me make this video. Honestly, after doing all this, I might be completely convinced. I guess I became a believer for this theory, and hopefully you have too. So yeah, that's really it. I hope you enjoyed how I made this video, and again, it was thanks to Starkey that I made this video this way. I would have originally just used these two thumbnails if I went with my OG plan. And I also wanted to show you these two thumbnails since I very much like the one on the left for being funny. Also, I would have just talked about the theory normally if it weren't for him. So again, I implore you to go check out Starkey's Twitter and follow him. And maybe follow my Twitter for very irregular posts. And anyways, thanks Starkey for making this theory. Also, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'd like it if you left your own theories in the comments and said that you wanted to be in a video. Again, super chats and members get priority, so shout out to the current members. I mean just the current channel member, who is also my very first member, by the way. And if you want a direct shout out, become a tier 2 member, but if you don't want to, you'll still be put at the end of videos like this as long as you're a member. And get other perks like emotes and getting to see and choosing thumbnails for my future videos. So, thanks for watching.